Nothing But the Truth. Hello, I'm Raj Chengappa from India Today and your host for Nothing But the Truth. Every week we will deal with key issues of concern and bring you perspectives and clarity as to why these matter to you and what is the clear truth that emerges. The Bharatiya Janata Party, or the BJP, delivered another political masterstroke in Maharashtra last week that stunned the opposition parties. If you recall, a year ago on June 30th, it broke the Maharashtra Vikas Agadi, or the MVA government that had been ruling the state since 2019. The BJP formed its own government by splitting the Shiv Sena and winning over Eknath Shinde along with a band of 39 Shiv Sena MLAs and anointing him as Chief Minister of the new alliance. A year later, on July 2nd, 2023, BJP played another ace by weaning away the leader of the opposition party, Ajit Pawar, along with a major chunk of the Nationalist Congress Party, or NCP. Ajit Pawar was made a Deputy Chief Minister and 8 other NCP MLAs were sworn in as cabinet ministers. In doing so, the BJP with one stone killed 7 big birds. 4 of these have national significance and 3 pertain to retaining power in the state. So let's begin with the national reasons first. Now, the first big reason is that Maharashtra is crucial to the BJP and the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's plans to secure a record third term at the centre in the 2024 general elections to be held next May. Now, if you look at the analysis in terms of Lok Sabha seats, Maharashtra contributes as much as 48 seats. That's the second largest number, with Uttar Pradesh having the largest amount with 80 seats. Now, if you go back in time and look at the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, the BJP had allied with the Shiv Sena under the banner of the National Democratic Alliance, or NDA. And they contested the elections jointly. Not in Maharashtra, if you look at it, they won 41 of the 48 seats. And if you take the breakup, the BJP had secured 23 seats and the Shiv Sena 18 seats. The other party, the UPA, or United Progressive Alliance, which consisted of the Congress and the NCP, won just 5 seats. 2 other seats, one went to an independent and the other to another party, but we are not getting into that. So what is critical is the vote percentage that they won. The NDA combined had won 51.3% of the votes, and the breakup was 27.8% for the BJP and 23.5% for the Shiv Sena. The Shiv Sena, of course, was clearly the junior party. In the UPA, consisting of the Congress and the NCP, together they won a total of 32%. The breakup there, just for interest, shows that the Congress was a little ahead of the NCP with 16.4%, and the NCP was 15.6%. Together, as I said, they made 32%. So before the BJP split both the Shiv Sena and the NCP last year, and you'll get the reasons why they had to split them, is the MVA share, the Maharashtra Vikas Agadi, the alliance that was ruling till that time, had an unbeatable 55% of the votes if they went together in the Lok Sabha seats in 2024. Now, just a bit of background again. The MVA was formed in November 2019, soon after the assembly elections in the state, when Uddhav Thackeray broke away from the NDA alliance, alleging that the BJP was reneging from its promise to give him the chief minister's post. Then, in a stunning move, the Shiv Sena and the UPA combined of Congress and the NCP joined forces to secure a simple majority, and Uddhav was appointed as chief minister. The BJP was caught on the back foot. In fact, it was flat-footed, and then it worked towards bringing the MVA government down, which it did, as I had mentioned earlier, by wooing Shinde and a large chunk of the MLAs to secure a majority on its own. The cost was to give Shinde the chief ministership's post. Now, despite that, the MVA combined continued to pose a threat, with both the NCP and the Congress standing by Uddhav Thackeray. If the MVA was allowed to continue as is, it still posed a major threat to the BJP's chances in the Lok Sabha elections. It was in this context of the danger of losing as many as 41 seats that it had to combine not only with the Shiv Sena last year, but also decimate the NCP as it did recently. Look at it another way. Okay, why are they doing this? Why is the BJP doing this? The NDA, if you recall, led by the BJP in 2019, won 353 seats, and the BJP on its own 303 seats. Just a bit of background. The total seats required for any party to win a majority in parliament was 272 seats. The BJP had won 303 seats. That gave it almost 31 seats more than that was necessary. But over a period of time, in the last 4 years, the NDA began to reduce in size, and the BJP was left with little more than 310 with the NDA, 303 by itself. So if you take Maharashtra, which has, as I had mentioned earlier, the BJP and the Shiv Sena had won 41 seats before they broke up out of the 48. For instance, if the MVA continued, it posed a major threat, because what would then happen is that if 31 seats were taken away or 41 seats were taken away, the BJP was in danger of losing a majority in the 2024 general elections if the situation continued as is. That is the biggest threat that the BJP faced, and therefore, if, for instance, a coalition government came in its after Prime Minister Modi, Narendra Modi had worked in the last 2 years with a full majority, this would be a concern for him in terms of trying to deal with the situation that was there. Now, the second big reason why the BJP did what it did by winning over the NCP, and as I had mentioned earlier, was able to hit with one stone several birds, is the way it punctured the growing opposition unity, particularly the moves that we saw at the national level recently. And one of the key constituents of that national unity plans was Sharad Pawar, the veteran NCP leader and the founder of the party itself, and he was the fulcrum of such moves. Now, after the NCP has been decimated in some senses in Maharashtra, Sharad Pawar's stature has diminished considerably. The third big reason is that with the MVA down, and the way the BJP went about decimating the MVA, it sent a very strong signal to the national electorate of just how fragile the opposition is. And one of the things it did expose was the fact that Ajit Pawar and his band of opportunists were had shown that their loyalty was up for bids, that they could be won over or bought over with the spoils of power. And this was a warning to the Maha or the MGB in Bihar, where Chief Minister Nitish Kumar of the JDU and his deputy Tejasvi Yadav of the RJD had come together in last year to form a government. Now, if the MVA could be destroyed, so could the MGB, and this possibly is the next move for the BJP to try and bring the majority that it had lost in Bihar by Nitish Kumar defecting back to its fold. There, Bihar has 40 seats, and let us wait and see what happens there. But let's come back to Maharashtra, and the fourth big reason for the BJP to take on what it did was, let's not forget that Maharashtra is the biggest state in terms of the economy for India, contributing 15% of its GDP. It is without doubt the commercial and industrial capital of the country. For BJP, Maharashtra is critical for its plans to make India an economic power to be reckoned worldwide. So having dealt with these four major reasons nationally, now let's come look at some of the remaining reasons, and these pertain largely to the state of Maharashtra and why the BJP wants to hold on to it. Now, take a look at the way it went about systematically decimating the MVA, and the idea was that if it had to win the Maharashtra Assembly elections that is going to happen soon after the Lok Sabha elections. The Lok Sabha elections is being held in May 2024. In November 2024, the state elections are to be held. Just to give you a background as to why all these developments happened, was that the Assembly elections for Maharashtra, which is to be held in 2024, if you go back in time, in 2019, Maharashtra, by the way, has 288 seats, and to win a simple majority, a party requires 145. Now, in the 2019 Assembly elections, the BJP and the Shiv Sena combined under the banner of the NDA, and the NDA combined won a clear majority of 161 seats. That's 16 seats more than the simple majority needed. The BJP had 105 seats and the Shiv Sena 56 seats. The opposition combined of the Congress and the NCP won a total of 98 seats. Of these, the Congress won 44 seats and the NCP 54. Now, the BJP was clear that having won the bigger chunk of seats, it would form the government and reappoint Devendra Fadnavis, who was the chief minister of the state from 2014 to 2019. But, as I mentioned earlier, the Shiv Sena president, Uddhav Thackeray, called the move to make Fadnavis as chief minister as a great betrayal. He claimed that the BJP top brass had committed that the Sena would be given the post of chief minister to it. Then followed another stunning development, which the BJP had not anticipated and it had been caught flat-footed. The Shiv Sena joined hands with its arch rivals, the Congress and the NCP, and formed the MVA, or the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi. Now, together with Shiv Sena's 56 seats, the MVA had a clear majority of 154 seats, because once they combined with the Congress and the NCP, which had 98, they had crossed the magical number that was there required to form a government. The BJP fumed with this development and plotted to change it. They did so in another dramatic fashion when, just hours before the swearing in of the MVA, they engineered a split with the NCP. It offered Ajit Pawar the deputy chief minister's post, and along with key NCP MLAs, the plan was to defect to the BJP at that time. The swearing-in ceremony actually happened early in the morning, with Devendra Fadnavis being sworn in as chief minister and Ajit Pawar as the deputy chief minister. But within hours of that particular decision, they never reckoned with the formidable Sharad Pawar and his ability to persuade the NCP MLAs not to do what was there. Remember, Sharad Pawar is the uncle of Ajit Pawar, and he was able to tell him to stay back and not do what he did. And this saw Uddhav Thackeray and the Shiv Sena emerge as the become part of the MVA alliance, and Thackeray become the chief minister. They ruled from November 2019 to June 30th, 2022. That was last year, and they held government for 2.5 years. Now, the BJP then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, successfully weaned away Eknath Shinde and brought the MVA government down in a coup last year. So now that comes to the sixth big reason, which is by bringing the NCP into its fold, the BJP is ensuring that its coalition government that it formed with the breakaway group of the Shiv Sena headed by Chief Minister Shinde last year would be far more stable. And one of the reasons they did that was that they were getting increasingly apprehensive of the support that Uddhav Thackeray and the Congress was getting in the interim months that they had with Shinde as the chief minister. Now, a good example of that is how the BJP lost the Kasba Peth by-election in Pune, which is considered its bastion, and the Congress won it. This shook the BJP, and this is one of the reasons why. This was in March, and you can see by June they're moving swiftly to finish what they think is a grave danger to their chances in the Lok Sabha as well as in the state elections. That brings me to the seventh big reason, and why the NCP is coming on board and why the BJP engineered that. Because what it does also is it cuts the ability of the Shinde Shiv Sena to blackmail it, whether to demand prime cabinet posts or major decisions in the state or other spoils of power. Now, there is also this possibility that the Shiv Sena defectors could be disqualified by the courts, and the NCP chunk of MLAs would act as the buffer and prevent such an eventuality. Also, there is a concern that there is, Shinde does not have the support of the rank and file of his own party. And this was, as I mentioned earlier, evident in some of the elections or the by-elections that were happening. So the NCP defectors are considered far stronger. They have better grassroots network, especially in cooperative institutions. And this gives the BJP greater confidence that along with the Shiv Sena's, which is the Shinde faction, and the NCP faction headed by Ajit Pawar, they had a far better chance of winning both the Lok Sabha elections as well as the assembly elections that is to be held next year, that is 2024. Now, we have dealt with all these reasons, the 7 reasons as to why the BJP made this masterstroke in Maharashtra, but it does not come without downsides. There are serious issues that it needs to confront, and they have to sort those issues out. Otherwise, this could turn out to be detrimental to what the BJP did. First, and this is very important, is there is a perception that is growing that the BJP is moving away from its image of being a party with a difference. Now, the move to induct NCP and last year Shiv Sena is an example of the extent to which the BJP wants to retain power and the extent it will go to do so, even if necessary, compromising its basic principles. Now, this is the criticism that is coming forward across the sections of society and mainly by the opposition parties. One of the reasons they say is, if you recall, in Bhopal just last month, the Prime Minister had lashed out at the NCP and he talked of it being involved in major gotalas or scams. And the BJP earlier, in fact, had termed the NCP as the naturally corrupt party. Now, they're willing to get into bed with the NCP, particularly Ajit Pawar, whom the BJP had targeted for corruption, and now everything was forgotten and forgiven, and they are part of an alliance. So this is something that is bothering the public, and this is the second major reason that we looked at. There could be disillusionment by the Maharashtra public in particular about the way the BJP has gone about trying to retain power. Now, one of the things that Uddhav Thackeray is doing is to evoke what is called the Marathi Manus or pride by saying that the BJP is out to decimate the Maharashtra parties because Gujarat wants to gain the upper hand. We all know that both Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah come from Gujarat, and there is accusations from these parties, and they had expressed these concerns earlier too, that some of the major projects, industrial projects that were recently given out have gone to Gujarat, some being even taken away from Maharashtra, which Maharashtra considers itself the industrial capital and feels neglected. The third reason, and the BJP particularly needs to be concerned about it, is that their own party loyalists are feeling ignored, and they feel that the newcomers are getting all the spoils, and their hard work that they put in to win the elections or bring the BJP to the percentage that is had is not being recognized, and they have to make way for all these parties just to retain power. This is something that the BJP will have to, they have a very good record in terms of discipline, but if you looked at what happened in Karnataka and in other states, look at Karnataka where there was defections from the other parties, and at the end of the day, the BJP lost in the recent elections with the Congress coming back to power. This is a warning for the BJP, and there is other issues that are there within the party itself where they feel that when it comes to giving out cabinet posts or posts for various institutions, the BJP party MLAs are ignored. They have what is called the lowest MLA to minister ratio in the state. Despite having more than 105 MLAs, they don't get the proportionate share of the cabinet. The senior leaders have told them that's the price you need to pay to come to power, but that is something that they would have to work out, because the distribution of such posts and others will be cause a lot of discontent among the BJP MLAs that are there and party workers. And this is one of the reasons that they have to worry about, because not only in the coming months that they have to deal and run the government where all these frictions would happen, when it comes to the general election and seat sharing for that general election, the Lok Sabha in 2024, there is likely to be even greater discomfort, because they will have to share the seats now with not just the Shiv Sena but also the NCP, and deciding that could turn out to be a lot more friction than they want to be. But of course, these are matters that the BJP would have to solve. The fourth reason for the BJP and the problems that it may have is that, let us not forget, the MVA still survives in some form in the state, and Sharad Pawar has a reputation for being a fighter. He proved that in the 2019 assembly elections, when the NCP and the Congress seemed down with the UPA and all seemed to be lost. They came back with a strong showing of winning 98 seats. His loyalists hope that Pawar will repeat his feat. Of course, there are skeptics, and who raised the age issue, as we saw Ajit Pawar do when he said Pawar is 83 years old and he should move on. And some of his die-hard loyalists, such as Praful Patel and Chhagan Bhujbal, are not by his side. So the battle for Pawar is going to be tougher, but he is determined to do that, as we have seen in the way he's been organizing itself. So the BJP has to be wary. Let's not forget Eknath Shinde himself and the issues that could happen because of him. He has been clearly cut down to size by Ajit Pawar's induction, and this is going to be a problem as it gets along, because Ajit Pawar has made a deputy chief minister, so has Fadnavis, and when it comes to not only distribution of cabinet posts and other institutions, this is something that his power is diminished and his ability to negotiate. Now, there is also a feeling that in the last couple of months, the Sena MLAs are drifting back towards Uddhav Thackeray, and this might push them when they realize that the reasons that they joined with the BJP, they're not able to get the fruits of that particular decision for defection. They could look otherwise. It also, in many senses, strengthens Uddhav Thackeray's hands. While all these negatives are there for the BJP, it is no doubt, there is no doubt that the masterstroke that they have delivered has had a major impact in both the state and national politics. Clearly, they are the front runners in the state, and with these moves that they have made, their ability to recover for the general elections, whatever losses they had earlier, puts them in pole position for May 2024, when the Lok Sabha elections are to be held. Of course, anything can happen now. There's still a year to go. And as you know, in politics, it's full of surprises and the possibles and impossibles that could happen because of this. But as I said, the BJP has made its move, and for the moment, it is a masterstroke, and the repercussions are being felt by all the other parties. So thank you for watching this particular episode of Nothing But the Truth. I look forward to having you with me next week. Nothing but the truth.